You know, at the age of 15, I ended up getting involved in this big shooting, and it resulted in somebody dying and 3 others hurt. And I went to YA for a long time. I was 15 when I went in. And
Chino Mike, thank you for being on the show today.
thanks for having me.
Chino Mike is the founder of No More Locked Doors, a nonprofit organization that's here to help the kids.
Well, No More Locked Doors is, of course, a nonprofit organization. I'm the founder and CEO. I started No More Locked Doors because, you know, I grew up in that lifestyle of the streets and the gang culture, and I did a lot of time in prison, 27 years. And just, you know, I started getting tired of that. You know, I started being tired of doing time and losing out on my kids' life. And I seen a lot of my friends and their kids following the same kind of lifestyle that we were living. And I didn't want to see my kids go through that. So I had to make a decision that, you know, enough's enough, and I had to do something to change my life. So I got into the trade of welding. I got into the union, and I became a member of the Southwest Carpenters as a pile driver. And you know, I've been real successful with that. So with that, I figured, well, if I bring these opportunities and this trade to my people, then I can help a lot of others get out of it, and also my kids and my friends' kids and stuff, and we could stop breaking the cycle of recidivism and the ever revolving door of incarceration. So
Yeah.
I figure, why give a person a job when we can give them a career? So now
Yeah.
we got a lot of big people supporting what we're doing.
You hear a lot of guys talk about, you know what, we need to do something, man. When we get to that spot in our lives, we're going to do something, give back to the neighborhoods and keep these kids from being killed or getting incarcerated, you know, try to give back, you know. And a lot of guys, they just don't do it, you know what I mean?
Okay, I grew up in the city of Chino. I grew up right there in the neighborhood, and you know, that's where my story began. I grew up in a very tiny, you know, neighborhood of Audio right there, and you know, growing up with the fellas, you know, I ended up choosing to go that way, and just got in a lot of trouble. You know, went through juvenile hall and the California Youth Authority, through county jail, through state prison, through federal prison. You know, 27 years of my life I've been in and out, mostly in.
Yeah.
And I've never been out past 12 months in one stretch. And you know, since I made this decision to change my life and my ways, I've been out now. I'm going on 2 years. So
That's good. Congratulations.
You know, so
Congratulations.
that's it, man. So I'm focused. I'm determined. Whatever I say, I've always been that person where my word is my bond. So if I'm gonna do something, I'm all in.
Yeah.
When I gangbang, I was all in.
Yeah.
And 27 years of incarceration will show you I was all in.
Yeah, yeah.
But you know, enough of that. You know, I'm trying to take care of my kids and my family, my community. I don't want to tear it down no more. I want to build it up. Man, I've been through all kinds of stuff, from police brutalities. You know, that's kind of what basically kind of pushed me that route. You know, just seeing the injustices that our people suffer by the police, by government, and just seeing that, hey, these guys are no better than us. Well, not all of them, of course. I can't say that about all of them. But, you know, just a lot of those traumatizing events, getting beat up as a kid. You know, there's been times where they beat me up so bad that juvenile hall wouldn't accept me when they took me, because they were like, you got to take him to the hospital.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking in my head, how can this person who swears oath to serve and protect, you do this to a child, you know?
Yeah.
And, you know, just those kind of traumas, you know, kind of just hardened me and made me, you know, go, you know, make that decision to go the other way and stuff.
Yeah.
Before you know it, 27 years later, you know, I was so entrenched that, you know, it was hard to break that cycle. But I finally had to just think about what I wanted in life. Do I want to keep going to prison? Do I want to keep, you know, doing all this time? Or do I want to be out here with my kids, my family? And do I want to actually make something of myself? And so I made a decision. I did all my time. I walked the line everywhere I went. My name's good everywhere, but enough's enough. You know, it's time to, you know, I survived, and it's time to bow out gracefully. So, you know, I still got the respect of the homies. You know, I could go anywhere I want, but now I'm on a positive trip.
That's good. That's good. And you're 100% on a real positive one, and that's really good.
I grew up, you know, in the 90s, so it was pretty rough back then. It was all out war, gang banging with everybody. It didn't matter where you're from. People just, you know, were acting crazy back then.
Yeah.
You know, at the age of 15, I ended up getting involved in this big shooting, and it resulted in somebody dying and 3 others hurt. And I went to YA for a long time. I was 15 when I went in, and I was like 23 when I got out. So instead of coming out a better person, now you place me in a place where you got California's worst kids in there, and then again, I went through a lot of injustices with the COs and stuff in the youth authority, and went through all kinds of crazy stuff in there. So I came out even, harder and worse, and with a bigger chip on my shoulder. So
more educated, huh? Like they teach you, like everybody learns the bad stuff amongst each other.
Learn the bad
right?
stuff more, yeah. So I came out even worse, and just growing up in the youth authority where you're not in a normal, healthy environment. My mentality, my maturity levels didn't grow, and I wasn't like, I didn't mature right, So I came out at 23, but still thinking like a 15-year-old.
Yeah.
So of course, again, I went, kept getting busted, kept going to prison and stuff like that, violations and all that. I just didn't care. And here we are, 27 years later, finally, growing up and maturing, and now just using the skills that I have and giving those back to my people. I've been able to send a few of my friends who actually reached out to me and were serious about changing their lives, got them plugged in with schools. I got some in the apprenticeship program within the Carpenters Union, and they're doing really well out there now, making money. So, I mean, you could get a job and be stuck at that job, or you could get into a career like the trades, where you got a guarantee advancement, set up in place for you, so that every X amount of hours of work in the field and every X amount of hours you do at the school for the apprenticeship program, you got a guarantee raise coming. All the years that I ran the streets and all the drugs that I sold, doesn't amount to all the years that I lost doing prison time. So had I gotten to this trade a lot sooner, had somebody introduced it to me at a younger age, maybe it could have changed things, But I made a lot of money selling drugs, but of course, when I got busted, all that was gone. I always came home with nothing, and the money I make in prison, 10 cents an hour versus making, 60 some dollars an hour, it's a no-brainer, It's not worth it.
The thing is, you're here now, you know what I mean, and you survived all those hard times, because you probably have a lot of homies that didn't make it, you know what I mean?
A lot of homies that ain't here today. I got a lot of homies that ain't coming back. Man, well, youth authority was crazy, especially back in the 90s. I did all the 90s in YA, so YTS, Fred C. Nellis, those are gladiator schools back then. So, I've seen a lot of stuff, done a lot of stuff, and I think those are probably the craziest times.
Even in the pins,
but I mean, I've been in riots in the pins and stuff like that, or been seen, a lot of crazy stuff. But it's just for what, for what? What do I have to show for it today? For all that sacrifice I made, nothing. So it's just time to move forward and move on with my life, and just worry about my kids and help whoever wants to get the help, because I mean, I could bring all these opportunities to people, but if they really don't want it, and if they don't want, it's not just going to be handed to them. You actually got to work for it, because you got to go to the apprenticeship program, you got to get your hours in the field, and you got to go to school. So you really got to want it. But if you want it, it's there. I just got out of federal prison from doing, I did 8.5 years. And while I was in prison, I did something that's never been done before. I started the first ever nationally accredited welding school in federal prison, USP Lompoc, from scratch. I got the federal government to give me, well, they didn't give it to me, but they gave it to the institution based on my plan, $250,000 to build a welding school in there. And I had the full support of the unions. I had the full support of the American Welding Society, which I'm a rep for the LA Inland Empire section. So, I did this, I did a proposal, I did a budget, I wrote the curriculum, everything got approved, I sent the money, I helped build the shop with some of my fellow inmate buddies, and then I taught it for like 3 years. I got 350 people certified before I left.
Man, so you were changing lives even when you were in there.
Yeah, so, I was doing a lot of this in there. I've been published in a lot of articles, Forbes magazine, I've been in just a bunch of different stuff, iHeartRadio. So it all started from in there. And I figured, well, if I was able to do this in here and nobody else has been able to do it, and I had my hands tied, imagine what I could do when I get out.
Yeah, that's great, man. That story, that's a fantastic
My first year out, I started No More Locked Doors, and we were just getting ready to get going on a major level, and then the coronavirus came, and it kind of slowed us down because we can't do the kind of events and functions that I need to do to move on to the next level. But we're still making progress little by little. My co-founder is Paula Rosado. She's the former bureau chief for the LA Univision Network in Los Angeles. So she's the senior producer, editor, or producer, street reporter for LA Univision Network.
Okay, okay.
And so we crossed paths on Instagram, and she read my stories and heard about some of the stuff I was doing. So she has a big heart for the community, for our people, and so she's like, well, let's do it. And so she actually went to school to get certified as a grant writer and to help put together the official documents for getting incorporated as a nonprofit. So
that's amazing.
With her and through our partners in LegalZoom, we made it all official. We're a legal organization now, and now we're just getting ready to get really started. I just want to do our part. We don't really have much out here in the IE and the OC, and so I want to bring something this way to help our people out here, because not everybody can make it to LA. And
and you're doing it. You're doing it. Definitely doing it, and you're on that right track, fast track. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But all your hard work's paying off, man. I really appreciate that.
I've always been a hustler, but I always used it in a negative way, you know.
Yeah.
But now I just flipped it around. How could I hustle now? How could I network? Back in the day, it was networking with other gangsters, with dope dealers, and with all these other people. Now, I mean, I'm still hustling with the homies, but it's how can we move to the next level doing these great things for our people? And so I got to meet people like you and my boy Relentless and a bunch of other people who are all on positive, stuff. And, so we come together, we collab, and we make stuff happen, because who else is going to make it happen for our people? We have nobody really. Danny Trejo does his thing for the community too, don't get me wrong, but we don't have a lot of Latino leaders helping our people right now in the way that our people need it most.
If you want to talk about it, be about it. I appreciate the interview today, man. Just keep it up, man. Whatever we could do here with Hood Stories and the Loaded News channel, will help you out too as much as we can.
I need my people, man, because I can't do this alone. Like I said, right now with COVID, everything's on hold. But once I start doing little events, little raffles, anything like that helps, get us to the next level, help pay some of this tuition for some of these guys so they don't have to get themselves in student debt. You guys can follow the story at Chino Mike 909 on Instagram. Also, nomorelockeddoors.inc on Instagram. My Facebook is Michael A. Monsivais, last name Monsivais.
Yeah, appreciate you, man. We'll be out there. We'll promote you as much as we can, and we're here for you, man.
All right, thank
Let's
you.
do this, man. No more locked doors, man. No more locked doors. Gracias. Thank you. Please like and subscribe.